Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the RFD Show. We are so excited for the rugby this weekend, and we just quickly wanted to discuss the games and our picks here from the Rugby 4 Days team. I'm your host, Stefandre, aka The Boss, and today I'm joined by the Jackal, Jock, and Daniel, Dan the Man. Daniel, let's start with you. How are you doing?
I'm good. It's been a cold week here in South Africa, so we've been fighting that. But otherwise, excited to see some more rugby.
I completely agree with you with the cold weather. I'm not a fan, but so excited for the rugby this weekend. The Jackal, how are you?
I'm doing it also cold. Winter has come, but also rugby is back on, so I'm also excited to see some live rugby this weekend.
Okay, that's very good. I'm excited. Yes, the cold weather. I'm glad that we all agree. We are not lovers of the cold weather here in South
No, no.
Africa, but I'm excited because the summer is on its way. So about the rugby this weekend, we had a phenomenal weekend of rugby this weekend that has passed. The first weekend of the Super Rugby Aotearoa in New Zealand. We had good clashes. Of course, Daniel and I did not have the best picks. And actually, we need to applaud you, Jock, because you were the yellow cap winner for the weekend, backing the Highlanders. Come on, what a
Yeah.
match! Were you excited? Were you glad that you on top of the pool?
Yes, I'm very excited. I just hope I I keep up this luck of mine. I'm not uh, usually this good in Superbru, but hopefully my luck continues this time.
That's good to know. That's good to know. You know what? It's all about consistency and hopefully not an upset win. That's actually
Yeah.
the one thing that that I saw the last couple of years. And with that being said, before we get into all the teams and the fixtures and stuff like that, please go join our Superbru Pool. It is Rugby 4 Days Super Rugby. That is the pool's name, but it will also be in the description of this episode. So let's get into it, boys. This weekend's first match will be between the Chiefs and the Blues. And I have a question here for Daniel. Daniel, with the Blues and the Chiefs, first of all, who are you picking, and with how much, with how many points?
So I was looking at the past 10 results that Superbru so kindly offers, and it seems that the Chiefs has the upper hand. I think it's 8 wins to 1 win and then one draw in the last 10 matches to the Chiefs.
Okay.
And but on paper, the Blues look a lot better. Like I compared them man for man, and I think the only place where the Chiefs have the upper hand is actually at scrum off with Brad Weber against Knock. So
Mm.
I'm going Chiefs with five still. Although the Blues look better on paper, I believe that they still have something to prove coming from a loss. So I hope they pull this one through. But I'm going Chiefs for five.
Chiefs with 5. Okay, that's very interesting. And with that actually being on the topic to discuss at the moment, what do you think about the shift that the Blues actually did with their loose trio? Akira Iwane on 6, Dalton Papili or Papili, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, at 7, and Sotutu on 8. Had a cracker of a game this weekend. What do you think about that? And will that disrupt the Chiefs' gameplay or not?
It's interesting to see that they played Ioane at 6. Seeing that he and Sotutu last year and the beginning of this year were rivals for the 8 jersey, and they couldn't play them together. Either the one was
Mm.
firing or the other one was firing. So to put them in the same team is actually a smart move, as seeing that as a flanker and Eichmann does kind of the same jobs instead of cross defense. And I think the major difference, you have to play flank and Eichmann to understand the lines you're running. So
Yes.
I believe it's a good move if you want to run at the Chiefs, because it's three big loosies. It's not a specialized feature there. So they'll have to rely on actually winning line-out balls and actually dominating the scrum, because I don't think they'll be effective at the breakdown. Dalton isn't
Yes.
that bad at the breakdown, but someone with the likes of Boshier in the Chiefs side, it's going to be very, very difficult to maintain ball position or retain ball position from the Chiefs side without a specialist feature. But if they have the ball, it's going to be frightening running rugby from that loose trio.
You are just getting me exciting all over again for this game. I think it's going to be a tough one, but that's what we want to see. With 100 days not watching any live rugby, we want to see tough games, not easy games. So I'm excited at that, and thank you for your input on that matter, because I think, on the day, you need to pitch up and you need to do the basics right. And for both of these teams, I hope they'll do very well in this game, and there's no sloppiness in the breakdowns and just the overall rules that are implemented in this series, in this tournament. With that being said, Jock, who are you backing for this clash?
Well, I also went and looked at the history that Superbru gave us, with the Chiefs being won 8 out of the last 10. But having seen how the Blues played last weekend, got me very excited on the way they play, the team they chose, and the how do you say it, like the team format and everything. So I went Blues by 5, just because I have a feeling they can do it again, back to back wins. For me, history is not at the moment applicable, with the new teams being selected and everything. So hopefully the Blues can get the upset win, if you can call it like that. So yes, I went Blues by 5.
Okay, that's very interesting as well. So there's already 2 guys going head to head, 5 for the one, 5 for the other one. With that being said, I'm going to ask you almost the same question, but the different team at this stage is: what do you think will Aaron Cruden, give that benefit to the Chiefs? Do you think they missed Aaron Cruden in the starting lineup for the Chiefs the weekend that passed, Jock? Or what do you think he will actually add in this team against the Blues?
I think this is all about tactics and strategy.
Okay.
For Aaron Cruden, last week he came off the bench. He made a pretty big impact. So I think for him, at the starting number 10 now, it's just going to give them just a little bit of comfort knowing there's an experienced guy, with Brad Weber out there. We can call the plays and everything. So I think him, Aaron Cruden, Leonard Brown, and Damian McKenzie is the ones to look out for, in the Chiefs backline. With someone like Sean Wainui, who also scored a try last week, is going to be a competitive backline. But I think with Cruden and Weber together, it's going to be difficult for the Blues team to defend. But also, if you look at the Blues team and last week, the defense and the attack, they can be quite a handful.
Yes. Yes, I completely agree with you there. So the moment of truth, I back the Blues, of course. I'm not gonna go against them. I want them to win this so badly. So I backed them with 6 points, and I didn't even go and look at the history of the team and how they played, because you are both right. It was out of the last 10, 1 draw, 1 win for the Blues, 8 for the Chiefs, which is crazy to see that. But with the shift in the Blues and just the overall the way that they play at the moment, I'm excited. I'm very excited for them, and I really hope as a franchise that they can build upon this and not just lose it all again next year. So that
Yes.
for me personally, I hope that's going to happen. So yes, we all got already our picks in for that game. So the second game, oh, what a game this is going to be. It's going to be the Hurricanes against the Crusaders. So Jock, we know you are a big Crusaders fan. So I'm going to give this pick first to you. Tell us by how many.
Yes, of course, I'm going to pick Crusaders. Again, like we spoke off air, for me, the big team that has a big, like, thorn in the Crusaders side is the Hurricanes. So I went Crusaders by 7, just because I still believe the Crusaders can win, but also the Hurricanes is a strong team, and there's sometimes where the Hurricanes can upset the Crusaders team and just like dominate them. So I'm gonna go Crusaders by 7, but hopefully it's gonna be a running game. Both teams are quite good at running. Um, so yes, I just hope to see a good high scoring game, because history shows us between the two teams it is quite high scoring. So let's see what the game will bring for us.
Okay, that's interesting. So by 7,
Yeah.
that's a nice pick. Okay, Dan the man, what do you think about this game? Hurricanes against Crusaders.
It's a difficult call from my side, because I haven't seen the lineups. And if I'm
Yes.
looking at the Hurricanes lineup, they have a very strong lineup. And if they start Sevilla, because we spoke last episode that he didn't have that much of an impact yet in this competition, coming from the bench, not having a great start to this competition. But I believe he's a man that will rectify it instantly when he gets on the field this time, whether he starts or comes off the bench, or it depends on what's going on the team selection. But it's difficult to make a pick based on we haven't seen the Blues played yet, or who's going to play, who's going to start, and who's coming off the bench. So, but I believe that the Crusaders still have enough firepower to overcome the Hurricanes easily. So I'm going Crusaders by 9, even on away conditions, which is telling you something that I'm believing that the Crusaders already has a strong team. They use their off week to their best advantage to look at the Hurricanes' weak spots. And I believe they're even more hungry for rugby because they were left out in the first week. So all that working to their advantage. And I hope that doesn't come back to bite the match fitness to get them to chip them up in the last couple of minutes. But I think Crusaders will come back and win the game with 9 points.
Okay, 9 points. That's also a relatively high pick for this game, or that's just my 2 cents of it. So you guys are completely correct, with the Crusaders being one of the most dominant teams in the last decade in Super Rugby, probably in the history of this competition, the most dominant team. An interesting stat that I have here in front of me is that the last 5 games they played, the Crusaders have won all 5 in a row, and that is between away and home games. So that is quite an interesting stat to look at. But with that being said as well, I think the Hurricanes are hurting at the moment. They wanted to win against the Blues. Definitely a bit of personal matter between some of the boys at the Canes, with Bowden at the Blues. I think they wanted to win. And with that being said, I backed the Hurricanes with 6.
Wow.
So I'm gonna be that thorn in your guys' side for this weekend. Hopefully I get 2.5 points, which is gonna be interesting, because out of the 3 of us who picked, Daniel and I, we are completely opposite with our picks. So one has to lose to get a point. I'm just saying, Daniel, just so that you know, I still love you, man. But come on, my teams need to pick themselves up. But yes, I think this is going to be very interesting about how we are going to see the lineups and so on. But I'm going to give you guys one pick per of these 4 teams. Who do you think is going to be the standout player for the weekend? So this is going to be an interesting question. So just think of this quickly for 10 seconds or so. I'm going to ask you right now, who do you think is going to be the standout player of the whole weekend? You can only choose one player. And with that being said, I'm going to go to Daniel. Who do you think is going to be the standout player for this weekend?
So I'm gonna just edit your question a bit. I'm gonna pick a back and a forward just to make it easier, seeing as there's 60 players to choose from. So I hope Scott Barrett plays. I'm a big fan, huge fan of Scott Barrett. So hopefully he shines up for the Crusaders. It was close between him and Adi Sevilla. So we'll see. But I hope Scott Barrett has a good game. Good New Zealand player, obviously, as well. And it's hard to choose him because I'm a big fan of Lachlan Boshier as well. So it's a difficult pick. And even if he doesn't play then my pick then it goes to Lachlan Boucher from the Chiefs. And then for the backs, I hope Rico Ioane has a brilliant weekend again, just to see some running rugby fully and getting into space. And I know it's being hypocritical because I picked the Chiefs, but I want to see Rico Ioane. Beautiful rugby is beautiful rugby. Yes. So I can't take that away from him. So that is what I believe the two players will stand out. Who's going to stand out this weekend?
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. Then Jock, for you as well, a forward and a back.
Yes, there's quite a few names that comes up in my mind to look out for. For me, a back for me that the guy is just so impressive for me. If he plays, is Braden Ennor from the Crusaders. I hope he's going to play. And if he plays, he's always that impact guy. He's good with line running, good impact player, good on the fence, everything. So I hope if he plays, I think he will be a good guy to watch, good standout player. And for me, sure, a forward, it's going to be tough. Somebody like Akira Ioane is also a good impact player. Yes, I think if he's also hungry for rugby with Sotutu getting the number 8 jersey. For me, if he can make an impact on 6, he will be a stand-up player, of course. With a name like Akira Ioane, is also be a star player. So, for me, Ioane and Braden Ennor will be the 2 stand-up players for me.
Okay, awesome. So just for my 2 cents about these two is I'm gonna back Bowden Barrett, of course, from the Blues. I hope you'll have an outstanding game against the likes of Damien McKenzie. I mean, come on, Damien is a world-class player, but I hope Bowden gets the upper hand with those 2 in sight. And then, of course, Adi Sevilla. I really hope he's going to have a great game because he didn't have a good game this weekend that passed. And I'm a big Adi fan. I just don't know. He didn't have such an impact on the game as he would have wanted to, probably. So I just hope he's really putting up his hand this weekend and just getting in the game at an early start. But thank you so much for joining me in this episode. We are so excited for the rugby that is going to just explode, hopefully, over the course of a couple of weeks. We are also excited for the Super Rugby, the Vodafone AU competition in Australia. Hopefully that will also merge with this one on Superbru. I would really recommend I'll just ask you guys to go and join our Superbru Pool. It's fun, it's exciting, and who doesn't like to tell your best friends, like, listen here, you were wrong this weekend. Hopefully Daniel or I will say it next week in an episode. Like, listen here, you better get tips from me. He's laughing. He just doesn't want to say it. But anyways, thank you so much for joining me. And please go support our YouTube channel. You can go check us out on YouTube, Rugby for Days. Our rugby blog is on rugbyfordays.com. We are on Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, all those platforms, and on Facebook, of course. And then till next time, the question of the day is exactly the same that we all answered today, is who do you think is going to be the standout player in the forward line and then in the back line? Till next time. Thanks, guys.